Wow. Good morning. Can everyone hear me okay? Let's see if the volume's on.
The volume's up. Unless you turn it down, it's up. What is not plugged in? Can they hear you?
Yeah, they're on mute.
Just ask them for a thumbs up.
Thumbs up, you can hear? Yeah. So Val,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Yes.
Woo.
Sorry, I was in New York yesterday.
How was New York?
Hot and beautiful.
Hot and beautiful.
Yeah, it was Gus's birthday, so
Oh, how old's Gus now?
26.
Wow.
Gee, they got old, huh?
I remember when the kids were just, knee, like they were so small. It doesn't seem like that long ago.
Yeah. Well, Federico was a dad when he was 27, so I think they're a little bit behind.
Times have changed, maybe. This is trying to think. When I was a dad when I was at 29. Yeah. All right. So let me see here.
Good morning.
Oh, there's Anne. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. It's so funny. I've been trying to train myself not to look at the computer screen when I'm talking to everybody because I'm not looking at the camera, which
Ask Anne how her travels were to the homeland.
ask Anne how her travels were to the homeland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in Prince Edward Island now.
Oh, yeah. Home of Stompin' Tom.
Are you wearing a hoodie?
Yes.
Is it
It's
cold?
cold. It's cold here. It's 55 degrees.
Wow, that's chilly.
Indoor KOGA weather. Yeah, Val was in New York yesterday. You missed that earlier. It was hot and beautiful.
It was hot back at home. I know that. Stormy too.
Stormy. We have a lot of dust in our air here, like Sahara dust.
Oh,
It's kind of hazy and it's kind of like a reddish or brownish kind of hue to the sky. But I can feel it when I breathe.
Mark says it's 90 degrees in DC.
Oh, wow.
That's hot.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
so funny.
it is. I just went running and I'm soaked now. So
God. Well, good thing you ran early.
Yes, before the real heat shows up.
Yeah.
All right, should we get it started?
Yeah.
All right, that's a good idea.
Why didn't I think of that?
You did.
Well, where's Sue? We're waiting on Sue.
We'll join. She'll join in when Sue's ready to join. Well, I said hello to everybody. I'm all inclusive. Well, today we're going to work on a lot of what I call inward rotation type of things. So, when our body tends to develop these habits that really affect the movement of our body. And I hope you enjoy the class. To get it started, we're going to bring our feet to the sides of our mats and run in the parallel situation where the side of our feet runs parallel with the mat. Let's grow the upper body first. That's by pulling the shoulders up towards the ears and just hold them up, kind of like you pin them up there. Now, take your heels, push them into the mat, straighten out through the legs so the knees become relatively straight, and then try to push the heels away from the body. So the midline exerting force outside. And if you felt a little bit of activation right around those hips of yours, then that's awesome. That's what we're targeting. So as we keep those shoulders pulled up, let's rotate the palms to face forward, and then use your thumbs to kind of rotate the arms all the way back. Two things, right? An opening through the chest and a contraction across the shoulders and the back. Take a big inhale. On the exhale, let's slowly start to raise the arms just shoulder height. Just warming up. And then let's rotate the palms to face the earth and then the thumbs to do so also. So we've flipped the whole model upside down, basically. As you inhale, pull wide the arms with the fingers. And as we keep that activation real, let's take the thumbs and let them descend towards each other behind the back and bring them to touch if you can. And as you inhale, sweep back up, open the palms, face the sky. Rotate the palms to face down and then the thumbs also. And then gently, very slowly, pull the thumbs together. You notice how my fingers are separated widely. Let's try to keep that wide activation. Palms to the sky. This time we're adding in a little bit. We're going to salute the sun. Lower the arms, shoulder height. Flip the palms, rotate the thumbs. Sweep them down, bring them together. And then open the palms to the sky. Come all the way up with the arms this time. Exhale, lower down, shoulder height. Rotate, sweep together. One more time as we salute the sun. We're going to hold up. Excuse me. Pull back the body. It feels much weight bearing into the heels. And now we're going to hit it up a little bit. Let's take the ball of each big toe and push it into the mat. And then I'd like you to try to create an isometric activation where you try to rotate the ball of each big toe in towards the heel of the opposite foot. So nothing's moving, it's just activating. Take a big inhale, and on the exhale, relax everything, fold it down. Oh. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Yeah, Kirsten's going, my shoulders. I'm sure Mark and Anne and Val get that nice activation in those muscles. As you exhale, let the upper body fold. Straighten through the legs, bend through the knees, and then straighten through the legs, bend through the knees. We get a little bit of blood flow into the hamstrings and the gluteals. And then I'm going to hold with the butt up. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Keeping those fingertips upon the floor, drift your hips back. Give me the weight bearing as best you can into the heels. Take the ball of each big toe, push it into your mat, and then try to rotate it in towards the midline of the body. Take a big inhale, try to extend the back just ever so slightly more. And as you exhale, fold down, hands onto the mat as you step back to plank. Getting a little bit of weight bearing in those pectoralis, those chest muscles. Now, slowly lower the knees towards the earth. And then gently straighten the legs. Gently means slowly straighten the legs. And then continue to do that. Knees touch around ever so lightly, and then the legs extend straight. Push the heels back as you rise up. Feel a nice little release or lengthening across the bottom of the foot. This time we're going to hold up in the plank position. Pull the hips up and back to down dog. Push up onto your tippy toes and then drive the heels to the earth and oscillate between up and down. And then everyone, let's meet back in the plank. Take your knees to your mat. Separate the mat width apart and step the feet in so that the ball of each foot and the heel connects, and then draw the hips backwards as you pull the hands or walk the hands forward. Now, instead of letting your head kind of fall off your body and fall to the mat, imagine you kind of have a string tied on the top part of the head that pulls the neck long, and then simultaneously have one on the back of the head that lifts the back of the head towards the sky. So two lengthening possibilities here. Neck long and neck lifted. Let's walk the hands back under the shoulders. going to modify our cat and cow just simply by the stance that we're in right now, keeping those knees nice and wide. Now, inward rotation. We talked about that. Imagine now you have exerted force through the arms and you're pushing all your body away from the mat. And that elevation in the shoulders is actually inward rotation because your shoulder capsules now are forward of the midline of your side body. We're going to change that slightly by letting the chest descend towards the earth. And that movement down is actually your shoulder blades rotating externally, kind of where we want them to be. Now we're going to hold on that position and take your right knee, lift it up off the earth, and then switch it for the left and oscillate between the two. You can't rotate it, you can just oscillate it. Now, I want you to pay attention to what your body's doing or not doing. If it's not doing anything, that's great. But if it's pushing away from the earth and you're kind of moving those shoulder capsules forward, I'd like you to adjust that. So we have that chest pushing towards the earth. Now hold both down, take both up simultaneously, and then lower down slowly. Let's just count this out on a 1, 2, 3 up and 1, 2, 3 down. And let's do it a couple more times. And when we'll all meet in that knee down position, step the feet out so that they're as wide as your knees. Take your butt, pull it to the sky. And as it rises up to down dog, it's a narrow stance down dog. We're gonna kind of open up the lower legs a little more by taking your heels and pushing them more to the earth. Come up high on your tippy toes. And then drive the heels back to the earth. And then tippy toes. And then drive back to the earth. And then step both hands up and in between, both feet up and in between your hands. If you can step your hands up into your hands, you got an extra set of hands. Now, as you inhale, extend. Exhale, fold. Bend both your knees and lower that butt. Now, see if you can get about a 90-degree or your best version of 90 degrees. We may not have that flexibility in those muscles right yet or ever. Let's walk each palm onto the shin. So let's make sure your elbows haven't rotated internally. We're going to rotate them externally. Push your palms to the shin and then grow the spine. And those two strings we use in the head, neck long and back of head pulling to the sky. Now keep the hips down and then simply unhinge through the hips. We've got an unhinge going on. So we're in a squat position. Let's take the hands forward today. We're going to squat down a little bit and then rise up to standing. And then squat back down again. Getting those glutes, hamstrings, quads all warmed up. Nice and slow, slow and steady. Lowering, lowering, lower. Seeing if the range that you can move through the hips, the knees, the ankles can increase with each squat that you do. And as you rise up and lower down, get a feeling for what's going on with those knees. Are they moving out to the sides? Try to keep them aligned with knees, aiming over the two middle toes. On the next journey down, hold it down. Now take your hands and start to pull them away from, pull the arms away from the body and then open up nice and wide. And then stand tall, step the palms to the sky, salute the sun. Inhale, extend through the upper body, bring the arms, let them drift backwards. Try not to bend through the elbows to get them back. I know Mark finds this a little challenging. You can keep your arms forward, right? We don't have to get them back. So our range of motion is what our body allows us to do, or determined by that. So whatever's body appropriate today. Most important though, just the length of the arms. So how high they are is relative to your body. Now, lower the arms, rotate the palms into the side of the body, separate those fingers nice and wide. And just like we started, pull the shoulders up to the ears, Rotate the palms to face forward and then rotate the thumbs all the way back. This movement should feel a little easier, still challenging. Now, salute the sun, fold it down. Yeah, step it back. You didn't even get to the sun. I'm gonna step the left foot back. Just step the left foot back. Kirsten's going into plank pose. Okay, such a keener today. Now check in with your feet. Make sure they're about hip width apart so you're not standing on a line per se. As you inhale, let's grow the spine long and let's kind of modify to start. Let's bring the forearms up onto that front thigh. And if you look down at your knee, it should be kind of like right in the mid box of the foot. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the knee and we're going to bring it forward to the toes. And then we're going to take that back knee and gently lower it down onto the earth. And then let's step our hands inside that right foot. Now, if you can't get down, that's fine. You can modify the stance. You can kind of bring, the back leg and front leg a little closer together. This is more of a nice stretch for that left hip flexor. And this is how we're going to walk into it. You're going to start walking the hands forward. And then you're going to take that front knee, the right knee, and kind of push it forward. So you have a nice pull through the calf on that right foot. Push the right heel to the earth, extend the spine as long as you can. And if you're getting a nice release in that left hip flexor, then enjoy it. If you're not, you can actually take your left leg, and I'm going to step it back just a little bit more, just to kind of open a little more through that left hip. All right, now come off the knee on that left side. Pull the hips backwards, walk the hands back. We're off the heel of that left foot, right? Just making sure. Now, as you inhale, extend the spine. Let's bring the forearms back up onto the thigh and let's grow long. So we have a big hinge, but we have a nice length through the spinal column. We're not flexed in. We have length through the neck and through the spine. Now, if this load that you're experiencing right now is kind of getting it for you in that right gluteal, just hang out here. If you want to add on to the experience, we're going to take the forearms off the thighs, open the palms to face the earth, pull the shoulders up to the ears, and then with long arms, we're going to sweep the hands back. And if our chest has rotated inwardly, shoulders are rotated inwardly, I like you to expand them backwards. Let's rotate the thumbs into, so you kind of create that opening opportunity. Now, straighten the front leg. We have a lean in, and if we can now, let's change the orientation of muscle use. So let's take the right heel and push it into the earth. And then sweep the hands forward, shoulder heights. Palms are facing the sky. Open the arms, and then bring them back together. Now bring the hands back, fingertip to fingertip. That's the baby fingers, of course, and forearms together. Now push the hands forward and then sweep the arms open. Make them long as you open wide. And as we come back together, give me a slight bend in the elbow, forearm and baby finger together. Nice, open wide. And then this time when you bring those forearms and baby fingers together, we're gonna pull the elbows back, slide them along the side of the body, keep the palms facing to the sky, and really make an effort to pull the elbows back. And really make an effort to kind of grow the spine and neck. And really make an effort to keep that front knee from bending too much. And then push forward, extend out, lift the arms up a little higher, sweep it back, and do it one more time. And we'll get off that miserable right cheek. Okay, bring hands over heart. Take the back foot, step it forward. Good morning, everybody. How do you like me so far? All right, push your hands to the sky. As you inhale, extend. As you exhale, fold down. Fingertips to the earth. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. And then keep the back in extension, step the right foot back. You're up on the toes of that back foot. Let's gently lower the knee down onto the earth. Let's step the hands, forearms onto the thigh. Let's take the left knee and push it forward. As we begin to open through that left hip, if it feels body appropriate, let's step the hands down onto the earth. I took a wider step back on this leg, so I'm already getting the stretch. I don't need to adjust my right leg. You can do so if you need to. Push the left knee forward. Now, to help with the ankle mobility, let's try to keep the left heel on the earth. And if it doesn't go there, that's fine. It's not a mandatory thing, right? Now let's lift that right knee up off the earth. Walk the hands back and then bring forearms up onto that left thigh. Getting a gauge for the load, getting that feeling going on, whether I've got too much or not enough. If it's ready to happen, let's release the forearms up off the thighs, open the palms to face the earth, spread the fingers wide, pull the shoulders up to the ears. With long arms, sweep those hands back. And then when you're ready, bring straightness to that left leg. Beautiful. As you inhale, sweep the arms forward and up shoulder height. Palms facing the sky. On the breath in, as you take it in, sweep the arms out. Keep them nice and long. Keep that lean into that front leg. Sweep the hands back forward. Open wide as you inhale. Exhale forward. Next time around, we're going to bring baby fingers and forearms together. Lengthen those arms. Lift them a little higher. Open wide as you inhale. And exhale together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. This time together. Draw the elbows back. Pull them all the way back. Extend the arms all the way forward, connecting forearms and baby fingers. Lift high. Sweep back. Forward. Lengthen it up. Elbows back. All the way. Open it up. Open it up. Sweep it forward. Nice. Bring hands over heart. Step the back foot forward.
Easier on that side.
One side probably felt a little easier than the other, but that's normal. Both were challenging, I imagine. Now push the hands hard to the sky. Fold all the way down. Fingertips to the earth. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Straighten out the legs. Now they're probably able to go a little more straighter than when we first started. Got some blood flow. Got some juice in them. Now, with the legs relatively straight, let's pull your butt back. Pulling back now is more of a posterior chain loading. You should feel deeper weighting in the heel, a little more tug on the hamstrings. Work to keep the spine in extension. On your next breath, as you release it, let the upper body just fold down onto the legs. Take a few breaths and just hang out. As you inhale now, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, bend both knees. Let's bring palms to shin with elbows wide, pushing palms to the shin, spine is extending as our neck is also. Keep the hips down, unhinge through the hips. This time as we release off the kneecaps, let's open the palms to face forward. As you separate the fingers, make those arms long and pull them back. Now lift your shoulders to the ears, sweep those arms back a little more. While we hold on this, see if you can get a little deeper into the squat. And as you come down, see if you can try to spiral or push the heels away from the center line of the body. Again, it's just isometric. And as you activate that lateral or side body chain of muscle, let's make sure your knees aren't rotating into each other. Let's make sure they line into the middle toes of the foot. You can look down and check it out. Now, as you inhale, stand tall, sweep the hands to the sky. As you exhale, turn sideways to the mat and step your feet nice and wide. Let's lower your arms down, palms facing the earth. So the width of the stance, as wide as you can get apart without doing the splits, of course. So nice and wide, but stable. So if it feels like you're struggling to be there, step it in just a little. Now keep the spine nice and long. Draw your butt back. So we're starting to lean in a little bit. I'm going to take the hands and bring them down to the center line of the body. And then as we work to keep the legs straight and spine long, we're going to bring our fingertips down onto the mat. I like to cup my fingertips. You can touch any way you like. Now, as we begin to experience this pose, which is working a lot of the muscles that interact with your hips, excuse me, and your spine, lower back in particular, you're just going to enjoy some lengthening of those muscles. You wish we could do this all class. So easy, right? Now, because our kinetic chains originate off of our feet, we're going to check it with them. And I'd like you to kind of get a feeling where you're feeling most of your weight bearing right now.
In the heels.
It should be in the heels. And if it's not, let's work to pull your butt back. And it's really going to emphasize the posterior muscles and give you a little more activation in the inner thighs. You might be feeling the low back active right now. That's good. It should be. Let's grow the spine long. And let's walk the hands forward. Now, everyone hopefully knows what cantilevering is. It's when we balance weight over a fulcrum or a point. So the heel is going to be our fulcrum. And as you draw the hips back, we're going to use the weight of the upper body to help us find some balance. We got a lot of work going on there. Do you feel it? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's walk the hands back. Bring the forearms or hands up onto your thighs, and then unhinge through the hips. Come up to a standing wide stance stand. A little bit of a break. Don't say I don't care about you, because I really do. All right, now keeping the legs long and straight. Adjusting our stance if needed. If we can go a little wider now, you can take it out. It's not a big thing, just a couple more inches. And if it's not good, bring it in a couple inches. Keep the shoulders lifting up to the ears. Open the palms to face forward. Spiral the thumbs backwards. Notice how I put that in two different motions, right? We just don't want to spiral back. We want to get those shoulder blades rotating externally. Now draw the arms back. Nice. You look 20 years younger. Now, take a big inhale. On the exhale, let's make sure you're drifting the hips back as you start to fold forward. And then when you're ready, bring your fingertips down onto the earth. Let's give me the weight bearing back to the heel of both foot as best you can, as much as you can get back there, keeping that spine nice and long. Let's take the left hand, bring it straight out beside the body. Palm is just facing down at the earth. Now you're going to rotate the thumb towards the sky and then just lift the shoulder towards the sky. And then lower that hand and switch it for the opposite side. And then continue to alternate side to side. As movement that's distal from our core, the proximal strength is being challenged right now. And as we start to challenge that, muscle memory may start to creep back into this movement. What do I mean? I mean, if you're starting to weight more into the front part of the foot, change that, get it back into the heels. Get that butt back. Okay, and the next rotation up, doesn't matter if it's left or right, just hold it up and then make a concerted effort to lift the shoulder higher to the sky and then bring it back to earth. Take the opposite side up, make an effort to lift it higher to the sky and then lower back down. We're going to do 2 more of these on each side and then we're moving on. Shoulder higher and then lower and switch. Where's the weight bearing in that foot of yours, those feet? 1 more time up and then down and then last side. Raise it high and lower. Step your feet together. If you can. Keep them about hip width apart as you inhale, extend to a flat back, fold back down on the exhale. And now from the base of the spine through the low, middle, and upper back, 1 vertebrae at a time. Lift your body up off the earth, ascending to the sky. Sweep the hands all the way up. Oh, isn't that so good? As you inhale, extend. As you exhale, release. Draw your shoulders up to the ears. I'm going to turn and face you, beautiful people. Keeping my shoulders high. I'm going to open my palms once again. I'm going to use the fingers to widely separate and pull the hands wide. And then I'm going to use my thumbs to spiral back that whole arm, left and right side. Beautiful. And then I'm just going to relax. Oh, nice. Come down onto the mat. That's called smooth transition in yoga. Oh, to me, it's like a Rice Krispies commercial. It's like snap, crackle, and pop. Oh, someone didn't think that was funny? All right. Excuse me. A little dusty. All right, we're going to come on our mats, lying down on our backsides. We're going to start in this exercise, which Kirsten has labeled Sean's exercise, but this is just a nice therapeutic exercise. We're going to lie it all the way down. We're going to keep the feet about hip width apart. I'm going to step in the heels just an inch or 2 or 2 inches, maybe 3. Towards your butt. You can't step them in towards the other direction, right? So we're going to just keep them there nicely. You're going to take the feet and you're going to flex them, which means you're going to try to make your toes come closer to your shins. Now, check in, just take a look down at your knees. If you do not see an obtuse, a greater than 90-degree angle, get it, because this is what makes the whole exercise work. And the wider or the greater that angle, the more you can really get out of this exercise to a point. You can get too far out. Now, take your thighs and rotate them in towards the midline. So our 2 body segments, and let's get the same thing with the toes. So feet flex, toes touching. The 2 body segments, upper and lower body, have different rotational issues. Right now, we're working to help correct and strengthen the internal rotation of the lower body. That's what this exercise is for. And the reason you need it is if you ever sit down and your knees splay open, aha. So right now, I'm working to squeeze my thighs together. And hopefully you're doing the same while I go blah, blah, blah. All right. And then let's open up the legs. We're going to make a progression out of this exercise today. Open the legs and just take a little chill. And see if you can readjust the feet and get them out just a little more. If your legs are straight, you're going to miss the benefit of this exercise. So you need a bend in the knees, but not too big. Now, rotate the thighs into touch. Rotate the big toes into touch if they're not presently doing so. Squeeze those thighs together. And let's take the arms right beside the body. And let's cup the fingers. So like you're grabbing around a ball, you know that feeling. And then the fingertips and thumb tips are now in the earth. You've raised the arms up off the earth. So just the fingertips. And let's check in with your shoulder blades. If you're riding the ridge of the shoulder blades, that's internal rotation. I like you to make your chest proud. But before you do it, let's pull your belly button in towards the spine. and then make the chest proud. And then flatten out those blades. And then push the fingertips into the earth. And then squeeze those thighs harder. And then let's add another element in. Let's take the heels and push them into the earth, but don't lose the squeeze of the thighs. Squeeze harder, push with the heels. Squeeze harder, push with the heels. Try to lift the butt up off the earth. Hold, and then relax it down. Bring the knees up and into the chest. Pull the knees in towards the body. When they're in as far as they go, open up as wide as they'll go. When they're opened up as wide, let them drop down. Circle them back in together, and then pull them back up and into the chest and widen it out. You know the movement now. Let's do that one more time. You should feel a little bit of that work we just did. We're going to do some more of it as we extend the legs back out, nice and long. Step in, hip width apart, obtuse, angle in the knee, thighs come together, feet flex, toes touch. Let's pull your belly button in towards your spine. Let's find that ideal length through the arms with hands having cupped fingers, the tips and thumb tips touching the earth, pushing into the earth, the arms elevated with a flat shoulder blade. We're hollowing out, we're pulling that belly button to the spine. We're squeezing, and I mean squeeze, right? I don't mean like, oh, I'm just gonna give it a little bit. I want a big effort. Push the heels to the earth, squeeze those knees a little more, do it together. And then add in, make sure you're pulling that belly button to the spine. Lift your butt up off the earth, get it high if you can. Work, just the activation of doing that is enough. And then lower down, extend the legs all the way out. This time, take the arms above the head. We're going to lengthen in two directions, toes and feet pulling one direction, fingers and hands pulling the opposite. And then bringing those arms back. Such a great exercise. I know everyone thoroughly enjoys it. Step the heels in ever so slightly. Heels hip width apart, thighs turn into touch. Flexed feet and toes touch. Work, work, work. Work the effort now. Squeeze the thighs. Pull your belly button to the spine. Shoulder blades, proud chest. Elevate the hips when you're ready. We're going to push through the heels. Squeeze the thighs. Now, adding on to this last progression, I'd like you to try to pull your heels towards your butt as you squeeze your thighs. Try it. 3, 2, relax it down. Pulling your knees up to the chest, forehead to the knees. Rock and roll front to back, come up to a seated position with feet a little wider than hip width apart. We've wrapped over the kneecaps. Are you all done? Oh, okay.
We're just getting started.
You're just getting started. Nice. Now, let's make the chest nice and proud. Let's pull the shoulders. We're kind of pinning them back. As we grow the spine, this is like a modification of a staff pose. As we grow the spine, grow the neck. All right, and then release the hands off the kneecaps. Bring the hands together in front. Rotate the baby fingers. Sorry, rotate on the baby fingers like a hinge, and then bring your forearms together. So right now, everyone's shoulders are really inwardly rotated. We're going to take our elbows and sweep them along the sides of the body, pull the forearms all the way through, and bring it all the way back. Give me a nice proud chest. As you exhale, everything comes together in front. And as you inhale, you're going to pull back and get proud. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're leaning back, yeah. And then bring hands over heart. C curving the spine from the base to the low, mid, and upper back, slowly descend to your mat. Nice. Extend the hands to the sky, separate them, shoulder width apart. Drop your chin into your chest and start to peel up each and every vertebrae one at a time. We're going to dive the fingers down towards the heels. C curve in the spine is great. We want to kind of just lengthen out along those muscles of the back. We work them today. So stretching helps to relieve our muscles of adhesion, which is why we stretch. We're just taking a little bit of stretch for our back right now. And then we're going to kind of cycle it back down. Bring hands over heart. And then base, low, middle, upper back, slowly. First one done loses, right? Slow it down. I lost. Extend the hands all the way out above the head. Let's step the feet up by your butt. Let's take the right leg and cross it over the left. We use the right leg. So you notice my arms are still extending above the head. You can bring them down if you feel more stable with them beside the body. I'm just going to keep mine above the head today, if my mic will cooperate. So I'm going to take my right leg and using the ball and the heel of the left foot as a hinge point. I'm just rolling onto the side of that left foot, the internal side, by pulling the left leg with the right. It's important not just to drop into position, but to use a muscle activation. So the right leg is actually physically pulling, and the left leg's providing a little bit of resistance. Not so much that you can't enjoy a nice lengthening along that IT band. It's not really the band that's being lengthened, it's just the muscle that attaches to it. I like that muscle because it reminds me of coffee. It's a tensor fascia lata. Or my second favorite Starbucks drink. Now, I have my hands above the head. I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to start to bring it to a diagonal. So if straight up was 0, and I start descending that left arm out about 45 degrees, let's get a diagonal. And I'm going to keep pulling with the right leg so that left knee approaches the earth, but it's not on the earth. And then I'm going to let that left shoulder just rotate up ever so slightly. And I'm going to reach that left arm back on that 45 degrees with fingers separated. And I'm going to enjoy that whole side body lengthening, release. On your next breath, let's start to bring it back together. And then switch sides. Hinging over the ball and heel of the right foot. The left leg pulls the right towards the earth. You'll notice at a certain point, you start to feel more intensity. And that's the point. You kind of want to hang out there. Forcing stretching isn't necessarily making it better. There's some benefit to it, but forcing before the muscle gets a chance to release often causes injury. So we want to minimize the opportunity for injury and make this more therapeutic, where we have length in the muscle, helping to release adhesion in the muscle. Let's take the right arm and sweep it out. If you've got it above your hands, or like I have, you're sweeping, and if you have it above your chest, then you're going to move it diagonally. Find that 45-degree angle we were talking about earlier. Keep the pull, and see if you can get that right shoulder elevated and lengthen through that right arm is you pull up back on a 45-degree angle. And then on the next breath, come back up to our start position, the legs uncrossing, both feet flat onto the earth. Let's draw the knees up and into the chest. Let's draw them all the way up to the chest. Let's open wide and let them circle around and come back up. Just make the movement nice and slow and try to explore the range of mobility in the hip, seeing how wide you can keep the knees and so on and so forth. Let's reverse the direction. Let's everyone meet with the knees pulled high into the chest. Bring the forehead up to meet the knees. Let's rock and roll front to back and come on to a seated position. A little more abdominal work. Nice and, this is easy stuff. We're still cooling down. Let's bring the hands out in front. See, curve the spine. One vertebrae at a time. Lower it down. Sweep the arms above the head. Extend out. Now, before we come up, I'd like you to pull your belly button into the spine. It doesn't feel like you're doing it, but just that effort to make that happen, that effort to activate is what we're looking for. Let's bring the hands back up over chest. Palms are touching. One vertebrae at a time comes up. We drop the chin. We pull ever so slightly and ever so slowly all the way up. And then dive the hands down towards the feet, C curving the spine. Let's bring the fingertips to the earth. Let's walk back in, extend the legs out. Our staff pose. Take nice length, make that effort to get long for the spine and for the neck. As you exhale, let's begin to fold in. Walk, I like walking my fingers. Remember that old commercial with the yellow pages that your fingers do the walking? I know, it's a retro joke. It's nostalgia. Okay, let's walk them back. Moonwalking, it's like Michael Jackson. Now, nice and proud for the chest, draw the shoulders up to the ears. Open the palms to face forward, pull the elbows back. So now I have wide hands and big opening through the chest. I have proudness through the upper body, and I have strength through the back. Let's pull the elbows back ever so slightly more. Take a big inhale. On the exhale, let's begin to descend back down and bring the hands forward all the way. Lengthen and long. Arms sweep all the way back. And then bring the knees up into the chest. Pull in, open wide, circle one way, and then circle it the opposite way. Forehead up to meet knees, rock and roll up to a seated position with legs crossed. Find what works for you. I like going more lotus style because I can and Kirsten can't.
I don't feel comfortable.
I don't feel comfortable, she says. All right. Let's make nice and long. Walk forward one more time. Actually, sorry, another time. We have one leg cross to do. That's going to change the dynamic through the hips. Let's walk the hands back. C curve the spine as you come up. And then lengthen the spine when you've arrived in a seating position. Cross the legs over the opposite way. Bring the hands back out in front. This is our last thing for the day. Should feel nice and calming for your body. Let's walk our hands back up. The seated position now, get nice and tall. Bring hands over heart to let me thank you for your amazing participation today. I appreciate you being here and for joining us. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. High five.
High five. Yes.
You're gonna namaste. Just high five. Kidding.
Cheers. Good morning, everybody.
Good
Again.
morning.
There she is. Good morning.
So what's on the agenda today for everybody?
Rain,
Did someone say painting?
rain, a lot of rain.
Oh,
raining.
man.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's not good.
Where is it raining?
It's not raining. It's gonna start raining in the DC metropolitan area. It's very hot.
But it's not,
So-
it's sunny outside.
Maybe
Now, but it's going to get horrible.
That's
Now
in the
it's-
afternoon.
Yeah, well, you have to enjoy the morning then.
Yeah.
So hot weather finally hits Washington, DC. It was funny, I was going to say earlier, when we first moved here, we'd have people go, how do you live in Florida during the summer? And then on many days, we'd look and compare the weather between Washington and Florida. They'd be almost, in some cases, it'd be hotter in DC than it
Well,
was in Florida.
yesterday
Yeah.
Yeah, but in any event, it's hot. So I said, the other thing that we look forward to is this thing called air conditioning. Because, it gives you a break from the heat, of course.
It's just weird weather everywhere these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So how does everybody feel after the class?
good. Good.
Excellent.
Me
Just
too.
great.
Thank you.
My shoulders feel looser. I don't know. Sue and I did a lot of arms yesterday. So it felt good to stretch.
I have enough weight classes. I don't need any more weight classes. I need more stretching.
Yeah, I hear you. Stretching's good.
It's
Yeah.
great.
I love my Sunday Funday class.
Yes. We love Sunday Funday. Woo.
Well,
What's-
I'll be washing windows and vacuuming up flies today.
Oh,
Vacuuming off flies. That sounds like a lot of fun, Ann.
Oh, gosh, there's like a carpet of flies in one room, one area.
Oh, that's nasty.
Oh, yeah. But
Not unusual.
it
but
came
you're
through the
happy to
winter.
be there. That's your happy place, right?
Yeah, and the cottage came through the winter quite nicely.
Oh, that's good.
Even aside from all the big storms that were here, so it was good. Good to be back.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you and your pet flies joined us today.
I'll send you a picture.
Oh, that'll be exactly. Lord of the Flies. Yeah,
Lord of the Flies, that's what it is.
it's too funny.
Have a good day, everyone.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
day.
Okay. Mwah, love you
Bye-bye.
all.
Love to all of you. Thanks
Bye.
for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Be good.